Okay, good morning to you all. Hope all is well. And as we all know, the another virus is available nowadays, which is very much peculiar and very much dangerous. Therefore, I request you all, first of all, you have to take care about your health and stay at home and feel healthy and take proper diets and utilize the corona guidelines as well as the other guidelines which are being issued by the state governments or the national governments of different countries and keep vigil on World Health Organization website for the updates. With these words, I wish to start today's lecture on publishing ethics. As we all know, everything has been explained, every content has been explained by me. But today we are discussing these first two units by taking an example of Elsevier.com. A particular database is there of different journals which provides different guidelines regarding the publishing or the publication of the documents or the research papers, journals, articles, etc. etc. Just I am sharing the screen of that. If you will click on the Elsevier.com, then you can see the first page, or you can say the home page of this Elsevier. Let us try to explain what is that. You can see everywhere this information is being provided so that we have to mobilize our health and wealth accordingly. Now, after going through these web pages which are given here, my topic or my point of contention is here that we have to explain the research ethics, what kind of the papers we have to provide and what kind of the ethics they have to follow. In case of the about and then policies, then publication ethics or the publishing ethics, a particular column is given quick links, publishing ethics resource kit, PERC, and another one is ethics on the researchers academy. Why we are discussing it? Because of we all the students, there is a requirement to publish 2 or 3 articles or the papers, research papers out of your PhD thesis during the completion of your PhD thesis. If these 2 papers are not being published by you, then you are not be eligible to submit your PhD thesis well in time. Therefore, I request you all, we have to go through these ethics and then we have to follow these guidelines and then submit our thesis accordingly. As far as the definition is concerned, the definition we have elaborated many times. It is simply the ethic which we have to follow at the time of the publication of any document, that is known as publishing ethics. And different guidelines are being provided by different organizations, as I told you earlier. There may be WAMI, there may be COP guidelines, University Grants Commission, New Delhi guidelines, and other universities, they have to follow these provisions. Moreover, another point is there, these are duties, are given duties of the publisher, duties of editors, duties of reviewers, and duties of authors. Let me clarify the first duty of the authors. Because of we all are the authors or the budding authors, at the primary stage, we have to follow what kind of the guidelines at the time of the submission of the research papers to any journal. Most of the journals or the publishers, they have the common guidelines, but there is a slight difference. As per the requirement of the references, as per the requirement of the document preparation or the indenting of that document. These different parameters are there, but the point is very much common regarding the plagiarism or the publishing ethics. All are common because of they all have to follow the guidelines which are being provided by the COP. No one is allowed to avoid any kind of the guideline which is not mentioned in the COP. First of all, we have to consider this thing, the duty of the authors, reporting standards. What it mean to say? Authors of report of original research should represent or present an accurate account of the work. It mean to say we have to provide, we have to submit that document which is in original. The first point. A paper should contain sufficient details and references to permit others to replicate the work. What it mean to say? It mean to say if we are taking the work done by the others, then we must mention the acknowledgement or the recognition of that work. Fraudulent or knowingly inaccurate statements constitute unethical behavior and are unacceptable. I agree with you all. These contents are available and you can read at your own level. Yes. But why we are discussing it? So that any kind of the question will arise in your mind and then you can ask. Our definition or the content wise or the philosophy wise, we have studied all these things. But to give a glimpse of these first 2 units of this syllabi, because of from the next week we will start the 3rd unit of your syllabus. Today it is a particular brainstorming session and you can ask any kind of the question and type of the question so that we can reply accordingly. What I am going to say, fraudulent and knowingly inaccurate statement is not acceptable. Review and publication, professional publication articles should also be accurate and objective. Why? What is the meaning of the objective here? It means to say the objectivity of that particular paper must be there. If you have considered only subjectivity of that paper, then there is no relevance. The objectivity of the paper must be mentioned. Why we are doing it? Why we are taking it into consideration for our research paper? Why we are reviewing it? Now, the second point, data action, access and retention. What it mean to say? Authors may be asked to provide the research data supporting their paper. If you have submitted a paper to any one of the journal or the publisher, from you, what is the source of collection of data? If you are saying yes, it was primary, then you have to provide the questionnaire. A copy of the questionnaire may be demanded from the publisher, from the editor. Therefore, any kind of the fraudulent data may not be converted into primary data. If you have prepared that questionnaire, then you must mention it. What kind of the questionnaire? That was structured questionnaire, non-structured questionnaire, open-ended questionnaires, close-ended questionnaires. What kind of the questionnaires you have used? My dear scholars, one more information I have to share with you all. If you are willing to prepare any kind of the questionnaire, a model questionnaire is given by me. Hope visible? Screen is visible and audible?
No,
everything?
sir.
No. Now?
Yes, sir. Now visible.
Okay. Just click and note down please SQMS. SQMS. Just you will write on Google Chrome SQMS by Dr. Kundu Here is Amazon Surinder Singh Kundu books. When you will click it, you will see a particular standardized questionnaire with multiple scales is available in Kindle edition, available in the $199, and then you can see the total cost of this $2.03 US dollars are there. What is that? This particular questionnaire will provide the whole information about different scales. How many scales you have used, how many scales you can use in your particular purpose of the primary data collection for your research. What I'm going to say here, in case of this, data access and retention. Therefore, all authors are advised and requested that they have to retain all these documents, maybe a questionnaire, maybe a report. Mean to say that may be your primary sources, that may be your secondary sources. Till the publication of that paper, you must retain these documents with you all. Because of author can be demanded or may be asked at any time by the publisher or the editor for that paper. Now, I hope everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Moreover, yeah, one more thing is available with me. In case of research projects or the books or the primary data collection, you must mention you have prepared a database. After the collection of the data in your laptop or the computer, complete database must be stored in your Google Drive every time. And you must mention the link of that particular Google Drive. If you have prepared, suppose I can take an example on my site. I have completed a major research project sponsored by University Grants Commission. The same project is available in form of the book on this Amazon also. If you are willing to search, you can search at a moment. Here is the advertising effectiveness among fast-moving consumer goods, a practical approach to the research methodology. If you will elaborate, you will discuss this thing. Everything will be here and you can enjoy 560 pages. This is available. Why we are saying that? Because of everything is mentioned. How you will prepare your methodology, how you will write, and how you will mention the references, bibliography, and what kind of the content you involve, and what is the basics of the research gaps, and how you will prepare the research design, and what is the logical fundamental about your sample size. Everything, it is a model book for the research workers or the researchers or the scholars. Now, next one is originality and acknowledgement of sources. Yes, we all agree with it. We must follow the principles or the ethics at the time of the working at any kind of the document. The authors should ensure that they have written entirely original work, not to copy from this and that, nothing. At what time we feel that? We feel at that moment when we are having so many problems in our mind. Sometimes we are not willing to do work. Just copy it, paste it. No. It can give the harmful effects, not only the present day, but maybe give or may give any kind of the harmful effect after 20 years, 30 years, or at the time of the retirement. Therefore, my dear scholars, we must mention the acknowledgement. because of they have done this work. Mean to say another authors they have done, that we have to recognize. One topic is also available in your syllabi: redundant publication, duplicate, overlapping, etc. etc. This. An author should not in journal publish manuscript describing essentially the same research in more than one journal or primary publication. Point is one. Mean to say, suppose I have published a paper in journal A along with the co-author Mr. Heather. We have published a paper in Indian journal, as well as in Baghdad or the Iraq journal. It is what? It is similar publication. Sources are different. Authors are same. It is known as multiple. Therefore, an author should not submit for consideration in another journal a paper that has been published previously. Yes. Once you have published that document in one journal, you are not authorized to publish the same paper in the different journal or in the same journal also, because of it is simply the case of the unethical behavior, plagiarism, self-plagiarism, and other kind of the misconduct. Publishing misconduct is there. Now, one thing, my dear scholars, we must take into consideration this thing. Except in the form of an abstract or a part as a published lecture or academic thesis or as an electronic reprint. Academic thesis. What it mean to say? The thesis you have prepared and you are willing to submit into the department. Before submission, there are two papers are required. And these two papers you have published out of the PhD work. That is the exception. Because of the manuscripts are same, material was same, methodology was same, that is an exception in this case only. Let me clarify again it. As and when you are submitting a manuscript to a journal, you have published two papers, and these two papers were out of the PhD work, thesis work, MPhil work, or PG level work. And these two papers are to be clubbed in your PhD thesis. It is not treated as multiple publication, not redundant publication, not concurrent publication. I hope it is clear to you all. Anyone can reply?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, another point. Publication of some kinds of the article, clinical guidelines, translations in more than one journal is sometimes justifiable. How? What it means? It means to say, for example, you have considered the COP guidelines, and these guidelines are to be implemented by you in your university, and you are mentioning it and you are publishing it on your website. Okay, these are the guidelines and you have to publish it and you have to display it on the website. It is not known as multiple publication or redundant publication or concurrent publication. Take an example of the academic integrity and publication ethics policies there. University Grants Commission, New Delhi, has published a Government of India notification about this policy, as I have already conveyed to you all in the previous lectures. The policy contents are adopted by the university that is named as Chaudhary Deolal University, Sirsa. Out of that, contents of that policy which was framed by University Grants Commission, 80% of the contents are same. Lines are same, contents are same, structure is same. But these are not treated as multiple publication because of these are the guidelines. They are not to be treated as, okay, these are copied. No, these are exceptional cases. Now, the author and the editors of journal concerned must agree to the secondary publication. Yes. If the University Grants Commission has given that notification in the public domain and authorized all the universities, okay, you can get it published for your benefit. Similarly, in the previous lecture, we have studied about a manual of the Korean researchers that was clearly mentioned. Okay, you can develop it, you can utilize it, you can copy it, you can download it, you can create any kind of the material in any manner for the purpose of awareness, for the purpose of reading or the academic purpose or the research purposes. But mention the original source. Yes, we agreed. Therefore, we must acknowledge the original source also. Next one is confidentiality, as I have mentioned already. You have collected the data that may be primary or secondary, and you must mention, okay, the confidentiality of the data will be maintained. Because of, suppose you are going to collect an information about the patients. 1st December of every year is being celebrated World AIDS Day. Suppose you are doing a research on the AIDS patient and you are gathering the information about them and you are collecting the information about their health, about their socio impact, about their geographical condition, demographic conditions, and the content must be confidential. It is the responsibility or the duty of the author. He or she is not supposed to put the names of all respondents in that research paper. No. Even a patient is very much near and dear and close to you. Every day you are discussing and dispersing the information with one another. But the confidentiality clause is saying it is a duty of the author. He or she must not disclose the name of that particular person also. That is confidentiality. Next one is authorship of the paper should be limited to those who have made significant contribution to the conception, design, execution, and interpretation of the reported study. There must not be anyone author and gift author. As I told you earlier in the previous lecture. Just late in this class, everything, every document, every video live class, violation, it is for the benefit of the fraternity. Any one of the students of this class and the other class, they can join. Just you have to share and subscribe the Research Icon channel. You have to subscribe that, and then you can listen and you can enjoy all these things. What I'm going to say here, authorship of the paper. If one has contributed a lot for the development of the concept of that paper, design of the research methodology, he and interpretation of this and for it is arise the present of
Excuse me, sir. Your voice is not properly audible.
okay. Now audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it is more clear. I hope it is more clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
We are discussing authorship of the author. Mean to say, who will be treated as author? I can claim myself, okay, I should be or I must be an author. I propose you all, we all 18 or 19 persons, we all must have write a research paper about the research ethics. We can create a comparative study or we can do analysis of different countries. If we are 18, we must capture one country each, and we have to study, okay, which country is having the plagiarism less, having the plagiarism more, how many cases are there. With the use of the secondary data, then we can analyze it, and we all must contribute. What is that? It means to say, I am inviting you, okay, please come, do the research. Concept is arised by me today, and the design, how you will design it, we discuss it on this platform, and we have to prepare the design of the study. In the next week, for example, in the next week, we will have to review the literature. What kind of the ethics? For example, Mr. Haider is from Iraq, another person is from Baghdad. They have to search and research through the internet how many databases are there, what kind of the ethics they are following, or leave it another way. Just where you have completed your PG degree, in that university, what kind of the plagiarism policy is implemented, and from that date, from which date it has been implemented. Is any plagiarism case is found in that university or not? If it is found, what action has been taken by that university? Can do a research. Methodology is there. We collect the data. Primary data may be there. And then after that, we have to do the data analysis and interpret the study. Then after that, the conclusion of that, we can mention, okay, this country is at this stage or this university is at this stage. They are following the COP guidelines, university guidelines, or the University Grants Commission guidelines, or the Ministry of Education of different countries' guidelines. Yes, we can do it. And then we have to publish a paper giving the authors name of 18 authors from different countries. Yes, my dear scholars, what you will see, that is an idea, that is a concept, and who will contribute for that purpose. Then we can say, okay, we did, and we claim ourselves as an author. Yes, why not? It is feasible and possible. During your research PhD work, you all are having a particular paper which you have published during this tenure. It will give a confidence to you, and everything will be clarified by you in your mind in a practical form. What you have studied theoretically, that can be implemented practically. Yes, Next one is the corresponding author. For example, Mr. Heather is principal author. Only one is principal author. After that, the names of all students who have been included in that paper are termed as co-author. Mean to say who have associated with that author. Why? It means to say the principal author may be a correspondence for the purpose of the corresponding author because of the editor or the reviewer or the publisher, if they are willing to contact, maybe publisher is there, he or she is willing to contact to whom? He will not send an email to 18 persons if any query is there. He or she has to just send an email to the principal author. Please give this. One question must arise in your mind. How many authors may be co-authors? If you have this question, you can ask. If no, then I can proceed. Yes? Anyone?
So please tell about this.
Yes, sir.
Nature is one nationally, internationally, world level journal is there, Nature, Nature. And the citation score is very much highest of that paper, which I am going to discuss. And the number of the authors of that paper are 175. Therefore, it is very much clear. There is no condition to the number of the authors. How many people contribute? If there is a paper of or there is a report which is going to publish on the basis of the outcome of the COVID-19 pandemic or the Omicron, and 2000 scientists, they have clubbed together, they joined together and they found some points for that disease, and they all are willing to publish, then they can claim, okay, we all are authors. Therefore, it is very much clear. There is no condition on the numbers of the authors for the publication of a research paper. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Why and how? If you are claiming yourself as an author, it is expected from you to consider carefully the list and orders of the authors before submitting their manuscript and provide the definitive list of the authors at the time of the original submission. Definitive list means to say you will not include any other author after the submission of that paper. Till date of submission, you can include. That may be 10, that may be 10,000, no problem. But after submission of that document, you are not allowed to include the name of the author. Second one is, only in exceptional circumstances will the editor consider at their discretion the addition, deletion or rearrangement of the authors. It is very much clear. It is a discretion of the editor. Maybe, may not be. But we must clear that we have to provide the definitive list. Okay, these are my 101 authors and you must include. Yes, then you include it. After that, all authors must agree with such an addition, removal or rearrangement. What is the arrangement and rearrangement? It is not compulsory, not any condition of the rearrangement or the order of or the sequence of the authors. It is the collective decision. For example, we all 18 may be the author of a paper. Who will be considered at the first one? Yes, it is a question of synchronization, of hierarchy, No. Just we have to sit together on a round table and see the contribution of that fellow who have contributed maximum. Automatically the name must be at the first place. But what are the parameters to measure or measure that particular contribution? Because of suppose I give the responsibility to Sanjana, okay, please collect the review of literature. And Mr. Osama, you have to collect the primary data. Mr. Heather, you have to do primary analysis. From the English department, the scholar, I have requested to him, okay, do the grammatical rectifications. They have contributed. And for the purpose of the exploration on dissemination of the information, for the search of the journals or the research databases, I have taken the services of students of the mass communication and journalism, and to review the reports on the economies of different countries, I just convey, okay, do this work from the Department of Economics scholars. Yes, all have contributed a lot. What is the parameter for that? Then we will sit together and we will decide, okay, please come and join the hands. And we have to make an arrangement or rearrangement of all the authors. It is clear, we put on signature and then we will submit it. Yes, it is known as arrangement or rearrangement. What I have requested, what the publisher requested, that any kind of the addition or deletion or arrangement or rearrangement must be at the discretion power of the publisher. But before that, if we are willing to add or less or delete or add the name of any person as an author, we must specify ourselves. We must be satisfied for that purpose. Otherwise, no. Now, the individual journals may have the particular definition of the authorship. Yes. Different authors, different categories. For the purpose of the scientific research, author's pattern may be different for any journal. For social sciences, may be different. But the common point is that we must have to convey the definitive list of the authors. And after that, no addition, deletion, or arrangement may be done. Now, another point. It is also the duty of the author, what he or she has to do. Privacy must be seen in an ethical manner. If I just collect the information from the AIDS patient, I know the name of the doctor who is treating that fellow. What kind of the medicine he or she is taking, I know. What is his or her family background? Yes, I know. Where he or she is wandering or walking or going, I know. But that kind of the privacy must be maintained by me for the betterment of that fellow. It is my responsibility. Similarly, in case of the medical science, if we utilize the services of any animal for the purpose of the experiment, then we must have to follow those principles, those code of ethics which are being maintained by that organization. Unusual hazard must not be there. Next one is, on this paragraph you can see a code of ethics of the World Medical Association for experiment involving human. For example, you are watching nowadays on the television screens that we are in the need of the booster dose. Booster dose is what for corona? Who have been vaccinated for 2 doses to avoid the further disease impact on our body, we are in the need of the third dose. And the third dose is known as booster dose. But we must treat those fellows, those human. Firstly, we have to check their immunity level. Is there any requirement of the third dose or the booster dose? Or just we prick and provide the vaccination? No. We must take care of it. Appropriate consent, permissions, release must be obtained when an author wishes to include case details or personal information or images of the patient or any other individual in any journal. If you are willing to give a picture of that AIDS patient in your document, you must take the permission. Otherwise, no. Because of it is a question of privacy. Generally, it is pronounced as privacy. Now, declaration of competent or competing interest mean to say conflict of the interest. If any one will arise in the present scenario or in the future, then we must all author be responsible for that. We have to give a statement, a document, for that purpose. And after that, we have to follow these principles. Now, the next one is WAMI defined conflict of interest as a divergence between an individual private interest, as I told you earlier, and we must have to be responsible for these. Next, all sources of financial support, as I told you earlier. Who is funder? Who is funding agency? The name of the funding agency or the sponsoring agency must be included in your research outcome. Because of you have completed that research with the support of the finance of that ministry, of that organization, and you must mention it. Next one is potential conflict of the interest which should be disclosed, including employment. I mean to say your employer can create any kind of the conflict of interest. If I just publish my document without the acknowledgement of the University Grants Commission and my university, what will happen? My university can create conflict of interest. Gentlemen, you have published this document without our permission. Why? What actions? What kind of the penalty or the punishment be given to you? Yes, they can ask. Consultancies, stock ownership, honorarium, paid expert testimony, patent applications, registrations, grants, or other funding agencies. These may be the potential conflict of the interest should be disclosed at the earliest possible stage. We, the authors, must be responsible for that. And we must mention, okay, if any kind of the conflict of interest will arise by anyone, we all authors will be responsible for that. Now, the notification of fundamental errors. Yes, sometimes what we feel that when an author discovers a significant error or inaccuracy in their own published work, sometimes, my dear students, you will see, by taking a practical example, for example, today you will write single page, read second time, you will find the error. Read third time, you will find a correction, improvement. Read fourth time, your brainstorm is saying, okay, this line can be added later on. It can be shifted upward, it can be shifted downward. sequencing or arrangement of the words may be different. Moreover, you have analyzed the data, and where the word you have to mention male, and you have mentioned erroneously female. Gender difference is there, and you have found this inaccuracy at the later stage after the publishing of the document. Then we must notify that. It is the author's obligation to promptly notify the journal editor or publisher or cooperate with the editor to retract or correct the paper if deemed necessary by the editor. If editor has corrected at their own level, no problem. Or publisher or the editor, they found, okay, there may be errors, there may be an error, then they have to contact the author. And author must specify and request the editor or the publisher, okay, this is the fundamental error that can be corrected. Now, image integrity. It is not acceptable to enhance, obscure, move, remove, introduce a specific feature with an image. It means to say if you have provide an image of AIDS patient to your publisher, then it is the responsibility of the or duty of the author, if he or she is providing the image of a patient, that must be accurate, not to be brightened, not to be squeezed. Mean to say there will be no any manipulation done by the author with that image. He or she must provide in original to the publisher and request to the publisher and editor, please publish it as it is. Status quo condition be maintained. Next one is, author should comply with specific policy for the graphical images applied by relevant journals. Yes, sometimes journals are demanding, okay, that particular image in that sense with the geotagging be provided, you have to provide. It is a duty of the author. Yes, why not? Now, clinical trial transparency. Nowadays, COVID-19, you have heard, seen how many trials are going on. On the basis of the trial's outcome, what you have published? We must mention these trials. Okay, we have taken third trial, fourth trial, fifth trial, and after that, this is the outcome. It must be in a transparent manner so that the publishers, editors, our stakeholders will not feel cheated. They feel, okay, the genuine research is available in the public domain. And then we have to follow these publishing guidelines. And now it is in your hand that you can see all these code of conduct. These are resources from where we can collect the information, we can download for the purpose of the research and publication ethics paper, for the purpose of the correction of the material, and then you can do each and everything. And after that, we can study duty of reviewers, duty of editors, then duty of publishers. And these all will be discussed later on. And just have a look on these books. If you are willing to download or you are willing to purchase, it is your choice. These are available. I told you earlier, structured questionnaire with multiple skills, and another one book is also there. Cognitive styles and multimedia learning with the co-author is there. One important thing in this regard is there. The data has been collected with the use of the cognitive style analysis software, and For that purpose, an agreement has been made with the University of Auckland, New Zealand, to get the software's copy. Because of it is machine learning process, for the completion of this research, I made an agreement with that university and they offered me, okay, please utilize it. And they have given the consent to use that software for 1 year, and after that they have been collaborated and operated at their own level. These are some information which are related to the researcher or researches and research purposes. With these words, I thank you lot that you have listened this particular lecture in a careful manner. With these words, thanks a lot to you.